What I'm about to share with you, I'm not glorifying it, and I'm definitely not recommending it. It's dangerous. This is something my friend actually experimented with. He tested 3 dark psychology tricks just to see how real they are. My friend didn't think it was real either until he tested it. I watched this video, he told me one night. 3 dark psychology tricks, for awareness apparently, but they made it sound so simple, so surgical. I just wanted to see if one of them actually worked. I laughed. Of course I did. We all think this kind of stuff only works on weak people, on emotional people, on strangers. He didn't test it on a stranger though. He picked someone at work, a confident, well-liked team member. Let's call him Jake. He wasn't targeting him out of anger or jealousy, just curiosity, just control. He said, "Jake's always sure of himself, always relaxed. I wanted to see if I could shake that, just a little." So he tried the first trick, subtle guilt planting. The first week, he slipped small comments into casual conversations. Things like, "Funny how the room kind of waits for your vibe to settle before anyone else speaks." Or, "You don't mean to, but people end up adjusting around you a lot." He never raised his voice, never confronted him. He delivered those lines like little observations, maybe even compliments. By the end of the first week, Jake had started second-guessing himself, barely noticeable, but there. He paused longer in meetings, laughed a little less. He even asked once, half-jokingly, "Am I, like, a lot to deal with sometimes?" Week 2 came, and with it, repetition. Not in the same words, but the same message. Things like, "You kind of take up space without realizing, man," in a cool way though. Or, "Everyone adjusts to you, not sure if you notice it." It was subtle pressure, friendly pressure, but it pressed, slowly. Jake started talking less in meetings. He'd ask for feedback more often, but with an edge of insecurity. He started avoiding group conversations altogether and leaned more into one-on-one chats. Quieter, controlled spaces. My friend was watching all this, quietly. Then came week 3. They were in a group call, just a weekly catch-up. Nothing serious. Jake was speaking normally, then just stopped, took a breath, and said, "By the way, I've been meaning to say, if I ever come off too strong, or like I'm pushing my energy on the team, that's not intentional. I'm trying to be more aware of that." No one had ever accused him of that. But still, he apologized for something that wasn't real, something that had been planted. My friend didn't laugh this time. He came to me a few days later, visibly unsettled. "I didn't insult him," he said. "I didn't blame him. I just nudged, and I broke something. That wasn't the point." He ended up apologizing to Jake in private, not because Jake knew what was happening. He didn't. But because my friend saw what even a passive use of dark psychology could do. If one trick in 3 weeks could shift someone's self-image, he said, what do you think people with actual bad intentions could do? That night, I didn't laugh either. After that first incident with Jake, my friend told himself he was done. But a week passed, and something didn't sit right. Not guilt, not fully. It was more like curiosity had turned into a quiet hunger, not to hurt, just to understand how far it could go. So he tried another trick, this time on someone closer. A guy named Ryan, friendly, upbeat, a bit of an overthinker. He knew Ryan was the type who needed reassurance, and he wanted to see if he could make Ryan need it from him. It started simple. He stopped replying to Ryan's messages immediately, broke patterns. Where they used to joke and laugh every day, he began creating distance. Dry replies, late responses, silence. Ryan noticed, of course. By the 3rd day, he sent a message like, "Everything okay? Did I do something?" My friend replied, "Nah, bro, just been in my head a bit." Then didn't follow up. It continued that way for the next few days. Emotional coldness, followed by sudden warmth. After almost a week of neglect, he'd send Ryan a long, thoughtful message. "I really appreciate you, man. Sorry if I've been distant, just been processing stuff." Ryan responded like he'd been starving for that sentence. His energy shot back up. His messages doubled. He was back, maybe even too eager. That's when my friend said it hit him. He wasn't just talking to Ryan anymore, he was controlling his mood. He could withdraw, and Ryan would shrink. He could engage, and Ryan would glow. It was like a switch. He didn't do it for long, maybe 10 days total, before pulling away. But he'd proven what he needed to. You don't need power, money, or position to control people. You just need emotional access and timing. Then came the 3rd test, the one that disturbed me the most. He used it on a woman he was casually talking to, someone smart, kind, emotionally grounded. Let's call her Elena. He started making subtle comments about how she'd changed. You used to laugh more. Remember when you were more spontaneous? You're not as sharp as you used to be. He never said she was wrong or bad, just that she wasn't quite herself anymore. At first, she laughed it off. Then, a few days in, she asked, "Do you think I've changed? Like, in a bad way?" He said, "Not bad, just not you." That line stuck. Over the next 2 weeks, she became visibly more anxious. She began explaining her reactions, defending her opinions, justifying things no one had questioned. She even texted him once. "I've been thinking a lot about who I used to be. I feel like I lost something." That was when he stopped. He called me the next night and said, "I made someone question their identity, not because it was true, but because I suggested it." There was no pride in his voice, just discomfort. He apologized to Elena too, and Ryan. He said sorry for playing with people's mental states, for testing tools he didn't fully understand. But what haunted him, and me, was this. If a regular guy could cause that much shift just by imitating dark psychology, what about the people who've mastered it, the ones who use it every day to control partners, followers, clients, entire groups? Most manipulation doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like a conversation, a connection, until you can't breathe without it. That's why awareness isn't just knowledge, it's armor. Because in a world where words are weapons, silence isn't safety, it's the setup. Subscribe for more awareness.